Today we're going to be talking about the customary units of length, and the most common measurements we use are inch, foot, yard, and mile. When we're measuring something and we're going to be using a ruler, so we tend to measure things and say what they're closest to. So when they're asking you to measure something to the closest inch, you're going to be measuring around here. So if something is, let's say, about this long, and they're asking you to measure to the closest inch, you would need to look at this. You would need to put your ruler up against it and then measure. And we can say it is right there, right? So is it closest to 1 or to 2? Well, we could say that this is actually closer to 2. So if we're measuring to the nearest inch, we would say that it is approximately 2 inches. The next thing we would do, let's say they're asking us to measure to the closest half an inch, we would use this one, because right here, these little lines in here in between, they're halfway between the 0 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3. So the little lines right here, those are the half inch. So if we were measuring something, we would, let's say they wanted us to measure this line to the nearest half inch. And we would say that this line is about 1.5 inches long. So we would say it's 1.5 inches long. The next thing sometimes we would be asked to measure is to the closest 1/4 of a mile. And I want you guys to focus on this one right here. Between the 0 and the 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. That means that the space between each one of these lines is 1/4 of an inch. So when you're measuring things to the closest 1/4 of an inch, let's say if you had a line that was like this long, you would say that this line is about, well, it's not 1/4 of an inch, it's not 1/2 of an inch, but it is probably closest to 3/4 of an inch. So today I'm gonna ask you to get your your rulers, and you're gonna be measuring some things around so that you guys get used to seeing these 3 kinds of lines in your rulers, okay?